right, good evening, faithfuls. Welcome to Tally the Votes, The Traitors, Season 3. The Traitors and the Faithfuls have added a few more coins to the winner's pot, and we're going to have a traitor who really thinks she's hot, though half of the fandom would say, we think not. Speaking of hot, we've got a faithful friend here who is, in the mortal words of a certain Miss Roan, is HOTTOGO. It's our man, Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Jamie, and you know me, I am always hot to go.
And a woman who is
He's hot like.
Go ahead, David. Get it in
I
there.
just saying he's hot like Texas Roadhouse at 4 in the afternoon.
That, I hear, is
Ooh, it's a little
super hot.
sweaty.
And a woman who's no slouch herself, a top tier, nay, top shelf human. It's Christy.
What is up, guys?
Hey, Christy.
Very unusual week this week, but we'll get into it.
And we've got a guy here who ain't no stinky bag of leaf poo, but he does play one on TV. It's our very own Seer Pumpkin Eater, David.
Excellent. Alan and I have some things to discuss. I have issues with Alan's decisions for this week.
Yes,
right.
we do. I think we all do. We're going to just open the episode right where we don't really want to be, and that's right in Danielle's smug face. Of course, Britt agrees to joining and being a traitor, because does she really have another choice?
She has no choice.
Yeah. Now, these two have to decide who to kill. They choose Tom over Gabby, thinking that they could easily banish Gabby. Brian, I kind of thought that maybe the other way around would have been the way to go, and maybe I'm not seeing the big picture. Did you agree with their choice?
No, I thought this was a terrible choice. I thought you get rid of Gabby and you keep Tom, because Tom has crossfire going on with Dolores, and you keep that in the game. Like if you could imagine this, if you can keep those two aimed at each other with this small number, you keep 2 votes off the table, and then you only need to get 2 more votes, and you're guaranteed to win.
Yeah. If you keep Tom in, you know exactly where he's going to vote again. So
Yeah, and with you and Brittany, you get one other person. If those two shoot at each other, you walk.
And as
That's
long
it.
as they're not voting for you or Brittany, you don't care where they vote. Do you?
You don't care if they vote for each of you once.
So you go,
like,
oh, Tom's voting here. We can easily vote with him, and then Dolores will vote for him, or we can easily vote with Dolores. You know, you're good.
Yeah.
You know, Tom was also tracking Danielle pretty hard the last roundtable.
yeah, but
Now, he didn't vote for her, but that could be because they all know she's a traitor, and he's just throwing his vote away.
but
at this
but
point.
but let's be honest, David. Tom's aim is like Jim Carrey, and there's something about Mary.
Okay, I don't think that was Jim Carrey.
Oh, I mean, not Jim Carrey. Sorry, Ben Stiller. So I've talked about Ben Stiller so much, I've severed him from my head. So sorry.
No.
I mean, but if you're going to fill in that gap, I guess Jim Carrey will do as well as any.
Yeah.
I felt like with the idea with Tom is that sure, he's mentioned Danielle's name, but not as many times as he's mentioned Dolores. And I feel like convincing people to get rid of Tom would be just a way easier sell than it would to try to banish Gabby.
Right.
Even though Gabby doesn't really, both her and Tom are similar in the sense that they don't have a crew anymore. They don't have an alliance there to like protect them. But I don't know. Maybe it'll all work out. But I don't know. Gabby seemed to be the one that was going to be more trouble for them than Tom. I feel like even if Tom said it directly and was right on the money, you'd have to believe that Ivar and Dylan take Tom seriously. And we already know Dolores doesn't. So.
Well,
Yeah.
and don't forget that Brittany told Danielle. Brittany was a good traitor. She was a, if you will, faithful traitor. She told Danielle, "Hey,
We'll
Tom
see.
and Ivor are onto you."
Yep.
Well, she was at the beginning, and even that choice, Jamie. If you have to choose between getting rid of Tom or Ivor, wouldn't you kill Ivor because he's like the most faithful of the faithfuls?
Yeah, because no one's gonna vote Ivar out, I don't think.
Well, they certainly talked about it. I mean, they were talking about it in the turret. I thought maybe my winner's pick, my replacement pick, was toast.
Might be out of there. Well, I
Okay,
mean,
one
I
thing
guess
I
there's
wanted to bring up about this very beginning, when she reveals and pulls her head her
her
hood
cloak.
back and reveals herself to Brittany, did that little interchange between the two of them seem so freaking forced, so fake, so acting, so scripted, so it was so phony. It was
Well,
phony baloney, was it not?
they probably did it like, this show is nothing if not extra produced, like super produced.
But still, it was so
Are
cringy almost.
you inferring that Brittany perhaps knew all along that Danielle was a traitor? Like maybe she had been told by Danielle in
Mm.
violation of her contract and the rules. Is
And
that
her
There
what you're
has
NDA,
inferring,
I
definitely
Steve?
mean,
definitely been a few conversations that have come up in the social medias that are thinking that might be the case. I'm also kind of feeling that maybe that started with a certain interview that we watched with Carolyn, where it seemed like Carolyn said, well, Brittany already knew that Daniel was a traitor. Now, did she already know because she was told, or did she just pretty much suss it out? I don't know.
hmm
It
hmm
could have been either.
I would love for there to be a cheating scandal.
oh, right? Especially with this person. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's
Anyway, it seemed to kind of even make
it
that more
definitely was.
credible when I saw it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's say that I think it's at least fair to surmise that it wasn't the first take. Right? Like,
It wasn't the first time Brittany was hearing this. We don't know when the first time was,
yeah.
but it
But
wasn't
like
what we saw.
I think that they did the hood reveal more than one time is what I'm saying. Like,
What the energy this gave me for real was like two enemies in high school that are both like nominated for like prom queen and both learn at the same time, and they both go, "Oh girl, I'm so happy for you.
Me
I'm
till
so
the
happy
end.
for you."
this is a dream. This is a fairy
You're
tale.
my ride or die.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Anyway.
dealing with. All
Anyway,
right,
that was just
Christy.
my thought on that beginning. Yes.
Okay. So I know you're the person to ask. I know if anybody
Okay.
knows this question, the answer to this question,
Okay. No
it's
pressure.
going to be you.
Yep.
At breakfast, Miss Gabby walked in wearing quite the outfit. What I want to know is,
Girl.
Yeah,
was
she did.
was
Girl.
she
No,
wearing
no,
an
no, no,
no
no, no, no.
no
Let's just
David?
okay.
Was she
Hold
wearing
on a
an
second.
armrest cover? Was that
Hold
an
on.
armrest
Hold on.
cover
No, no, no,
over
no.
her
Hold on.
shoulders?
Now
Who cared? Who was looking at her shoulders?
what is her background? What did she say her background was?
I don't remember.
Like she was on The Bachelor, but whatever it was that she did for work.
I don't remember. I'm gonna
Okay.
be honest. I'm a
Here's what I'm gonna say.
terrible host. I don't
Here's what I'm gonna
remember.
say. She comes in wearing like sheer nylon all over her body, leather, super short shorts,
Yeah,
these
yeah. Great.
big super buckle jeans. Okay, what she was wearing on top is not an
Yeah.
article of clothing. That's not
That's
an
what I
article of
mean.
clothing.
That's what I
Okay, here's what
said.
happens.
It's an
In
armrest cover.
really high end labels or like very expensive suits.
A couture, if you will.
They have this thing. It comes when the garment comes in on the rack on the hanger. There is this protective
It's the
sleeve that
dry
goes
cleaning cloak.
over. It goes over the top and over the hanger so that when it is hung, the arms of the garment don't collect dust. It is literally a dust cover for something fancy, a tuxedo, like a very expensive gown, something like that. Homegirl was wearing it like it was a top. And
Yes.
whatever, but for her to
Was
go in that room and sit there and say that she was sitting in there because she was cold, girl.
was
what you
it not
thinking?
hilarious? Who asked her
And
if she
they
could
all
raise her arms?
I think
she
Ivor
And
said
she's
went.
like,
no. She
and
said
she's
not.
like, no.
And they were all like, "Oh, let's see this outfit." And they, they were laughing at her, going, "Oh, girl, no, that thing
Yeah.
that you bought
Yeah.
those clothes that wasn't to be worn." That's just to protect the clothes in your closet.
And you know what her response to like
It's
everything?
Gucci.
Her response to everything was, "Yeah, literally."
Literally. Literally.
I'm sorry, I
Literally.
can't hate Gabby. I just
Literally.
can't. I just can't hate her. She's so
She's
cute.
super. I like her a lot.
I do. I can't help. I can't help it. So okay, we find out at breakfast that Tom's murdered, and we get the little Tom gets the murder notice. But you know, speaking of fashion, Tom's suit was boss. That thing was awesome. I just want to put it out there. That was his best outfit of the entire season. Good suit to die in, Tom. Looking sharp.
And him
But
coming in acting like,
but
I knew it.
he knew because he's like he says like I know I'm really good at this game, and I need to tell you that my 10-year-old
his
like
heart.
lost her mind when he said that. She laughed so hard.
You know, nothing gets him down. Nothing gets him down. There's
You know,
money in that pot that would not be there if it were not for Mr. Tom
wasn't-
Sandoval.
and his
Let's be fair.
vocal stylings, you know.
Ho, ho, hee, ho,
Hamana, hamana.
You know, bless your heart, Tom. Bless your heart, and the mighty stag you rode in on.
and you know, I thought when Alan like, you know, does the smash on the ground, when he says, I mean, it was funny, but it was kind of mean when he says, "For once in your life, Tom, you were faithful."
Yes.
I mean, and like apparently the only thing I knew about Tom going into this was he cheated on somebody on a show, and it was a big.
That was the first thing those girls were saying behind his back. I'm like, within like 5
Yes,
minutes.
that he was a
Friend,
cheater.
right?
Yeah,
Michelle's
like,
friend
oh,
was his wife. Now, okay, Christy,
wife or girlfriend? That's important. Do you cheat on
wife.
wife
I
or
think
girlfriend?
it was wife. I think it was wife, but I don't know for sure. It don't come at
Okay,
me with
Tom.
Sandoval lore. I don't know it.
Okay.
I don't know the man until
Apparently,
now.
he's a wicked trumpet player.
Yeah, he's got some skills on the old brassaroo. Okay, so Christy,
Horn player.
so Alan, as Brian was saying, Alan
Yeah.
comes in, does his spiel.
Yeah.
Now, serious question: was Alan wearing an armrest cover?
Okay, so Gabby and him, they were totally talking beforehand, right?
I think they coordinated.
She was like, listen, you're gonna come in, you're gonna have this like very like vintage Highland Lord meets S&M dungeon. It's gonna be blue, it's gonna be fantastic, and I'm gonna wear this other thing. And then
Alan's like, we're going to look
it's gonna look
amazing.
crazy.
And
It's
then
gonna
she's
look
like,
a
yeah,
crazy sprockets
literally.
like get on SNL, and it's gonna be like that.
It's so much, guys. It's so much. It was crazy. The outfits were crazy. And
It
I
was velvet on the top. It was like beautiful color of shade of blue, but this
Yeah, it really was.
blue velvet poet top
oh, it was like flowy.
with the vinyl and tartan skirt or kilt. Excuse me. It was odd.
And the
I'm not a fan of the
lens
vinyl
frames to match, you know.
Yeah.
Alan has always got the right frames for the outfit. I'm going to say,
Yeah,
like,
he did.
never
And
ever fails me.
in his hair, the way his hair was like swooping, it was very cabaret. It was like it had like a swoop and everything. Anyway.
But gang, Alan does say a very important thing. This is where we learn this is going to be the last round table where people reveal their identity. He tells them that at breakfast so they can be nervous all day long.
And I'm going to tell you right now, in my head, the wheels started turning and I saw a golden ray of sunshine come down on our girl, Brittany. Girl, you got a chance.
This is your chance.
Yeah. This is your
You
chance.
got one shot. You got one shot. And
they won't. You might be able to hide.
Come on. Well, you know what? Gabby is got some wisdom. She's providing some of her insight. You know, she's kind of mentioned to Dylan, you know, hey, like I saw these two leaving the wine cellar. Isn't that crazy though? Yeah, like, you know, she's starting to point some very obvious bits of.
I love how that ties back, right? Because nothing came of it at that time, and we were all, aren't they suspicious?
Yeah.
And nope, she just tucked it away.
She just waited for the right time. So, okay.
She had a good argument.
Dolores keeps talking about how she trusts Danielle. So David, this question's for you. At what point would you wager Dolores stopped playing this game?
I do not believe Dolores was ever playing this game.
She's just there for the fun of it. And
I do believe like Alan asked her questions and she's answering like week 1 questions. I mean, she seems totally disengaged as a player anyway.
Yeah.
As a corollary, if we ask Danielle right now, does she believe or if we ask Dolores right now, does she believe Danielle's a faithful?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Here's the deal. Dolores is
my
from
friend.
No, I mean now that she's home and it's over, does she believe
right.
it?
She still
She
finds
still
things
does.
to do.
She still believes it.
She's
She's
still
still-
writing Tom's
but
name down. She wakes
she's from
up,
Jersey,
walks to the
right?
refrigerator,
Yes.
writes his name on it.
Okay. I wonder, and I'm not saying anything disparaging about New Jersey. It's a wonderful state, but I wonder if in her
Except for that
social
one guy.
network-
Nothing good has ever started
There-
with that.
Don't see that. But I just wonder if, given her level of like, notoriety and money privilege in New Jersey, if she might not have people in her life that she has to always just believe they're good guys. They're
Maybe.
good guys. Maybe she's just like they're good guys.
She has
Good
struck me
guy.
from the beginning as somebody who was playing to increase their notoriety. She
Well,
was playing
I don't
for the
even
views and for
I-
the.
I don't even think that she was there to play for her notoriety. I think she was just there because it was a free trip and something fun to do.
Trip to Scotland and hang out with some
And-
other housewives. But those
And
are
I want
long
to
gone.
interject just for a second and say that not all members of this podcast and live stream endorse the views of Christy. Some of us believe there are many fine people in waste management, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
I didn't even bring that up. I said people of that.
I'm
that
just in
Richie
case
level rich
anybody
people.
misunderstood. In case
Are you
in ca-
kidding me?
Just
That is the
just
most
in case.
thankless job ever, working in waste.
we are
management. They are
100% behind
gosh
waste
darn
management.
Heroes.
You bet.
That's right, and
You bet.
and construction contracting. We're 100% behind that.
Absolutely.
Forget about it. That's what you need to know. Just forget about it.
I already did.
Well, I feel like at the beginning there were certain times where we really did think, "Oh, I think Dolores is one to look out for," because she was watching people, but it's like the first couple days and then she was like, "Oh, it's not Tom. Well, I don't want to play anymore."
I think it's when she had other people to play with. Like
Yeah.
she had other people she was talking to. They could kind of share what they were seeing. Those people are long gone. She's been a lone wolf. And she's got nothing to
Yeah.
grasp onto. So maybe she did give up at that point, like, whatever. Tom's got it out for me.
True that. Yeah.
That's what I think
Yeah.
is going on with Dolores.
And then you've got Ivar, who, I mean, yes, there's a lot of times where we can goof on Ivar, but we've mentioned it a few times too, where he tries to say something and he gets kind of shut out. And here he is again going, "Guys, I still believe there's 2 traitors. They're not going to just be one right now."
Well, he said something really funny to them at breakfast, which was, I don't even remember. I don't even know all your names. Right? When he says to him. So
He
I think
doesn't
he
need
has one of
to.
those super dry sense of humors. So maybe he's just that's why they just don't listen to anything he says. Maybe he just makes comments like that.
Like they just don't get it. They don't get the humor.
Oh.
So we're going to go into this challenge. And I know that this is where we start to have a few things to talk about. So the basis of this challenge is the winner with the most gold at the end of these challenges gets to become a seer. And then the seer gets to ask any other player point blank, and they have to answer
They
truthfully.
have to be told the truth, yes. Which is a
So-
big power, obviously.
It's the biggest power you can have in this game. And you need to, like, the person who you are suspicious of, that's who you have to ask.
And so to determine who is going to be the seer, we create the most easily manipulatable contest ever for production.
Yeah. So let's start with the first part of this. We have the clowns. And now I will say the clown, that one is just I don't feel like production's doing much of anything in this. It's just
No.
you got to watch a clown move around. You got to watch the watch the pee under the cup and then see where did it go? Where did it go? And everybody did fairly well except for Dylan.
You see, there's no reason to make them clowns. There's just no reason. That's not even necessary. I think that's lazy writing. We didn't need clowns. We didn't know those creepy clowns again with their balloons getting
We
popped
didn't
and
need to see them
popping
again.
balloons. I don't like these clowns.
No, they are pretty creepy. And Dylan agreed. He does not like the clowns. He does not have
Yeah,
good luck
this is not
with
great.
when those clowns are around. But everyone does okay other than Dylan. But now let's move on to the dolls. Okay, first and foremost,
Rigged.
are we at all convinced that like pulling the string on these dolls that the dolls talk from inside of their little doll body?
Oh, they don't.
This is a recording that comes
No.
probably post production, right? Like
Yeah. Or they play it over a loudspeaker. So
right, like Zingbot, if you will.
Zing.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. So
But totally rigged. Totally rigged.
Yeah. Like I couldn't even unbelieve myself for half a second as soon as I felt this feels rigged. Like, and I couldn't let it go because every next second just provided more
And then
knowledge
and
that,
then who
Well,
got the most
and
money
the
out of that
outcome
round?
was the outcome was exactly what you'd want if you were production trying to write an end game.
well, and then you got, you get Danielle, suddenly she gets like $13 billion without, being too greedy. And so let's move on. Let's move on past the dolls. And let's go to the stinking bags of leaf poo, where
It was clearly just compost, right? It was just like
I mean,
rotting
I don't.
leaves.
Did
There was no
somebody
actual poo.
did somebody actually blow chow? Because it looked like one of them. I'm trying to remember who
Maybe.
turned like they
I
got
feel
sick.
like
I'm gonna
Dylan was having a
guess-
really hard
Yeah,
time.
that's who it was.
I'm
It
gonna guess
exploded
that
in
they
Dylan's
couldn't-
face.
I'm gonna
And I
guess
think that's
just
when
for,
Alan
like,
said, I hate it when that happens.
I hate it
Oh,
when
that was hilarious.
I'm gonna guess though that production would never actually use any sort of excrement at
No.
all. So definitely not poo, okay?
It's
Probably
probably
some
bog
smelly
peat.
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
probably bog peat,
Yeah,
which
right.
is
And so
pretty
that would-
terrible.
yeah,
But
it's super good for
Yeah.
your garden.
Oh,
Not awesome for
that
your
it
nose.
is.
Or your
So-
mouth, apparently, Dylan.
They're all digging around in this crud and they're peeling all these coins. And then they have to go put their coins in this box where nobody can actually see how many coins your neighbor may or may not have.
You can't clock anything.
And then you've got to like pull this up, which, okay, great nod to the Cage Gang. Okay, great. All right. And then, oh, but we're not going to tell you who the winner is until we're certain of who's left after the round table.
Which is the most. What is the point of winning this and getting this power, this ultimate power that has never been in the game ever before in the history of Traitors? What is the
Yeah.
point of getting this power if you cannot find out information for Roundtable to help your side?
Yeah.
it's just to help you at the fire pit. That's all. But what
Yeah,
sucks is if
that's
the
fair.
person got it and then lost,
Yes.
like that's just that would just be cruel.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, well, look at, we kind
If
of
they're faithful,
experienced
sorry.
that with, was it Sierra that had gotten the shield and then was,
Oh, she was voted out. Yeah, she couldn't
and,
use it.
and
that
she
night.
was banished, right when she had that
Yeah.
protection to get through the night. So yeah, you cannot, there's absolutely nothing that you could do to tell me that they don't want Danielle like making it through. And maybe hopefully if she goes, getting good TV out of her going. But this is the
Well-
end game. It's their show. It's everything about this show is like super produced. To say that
Jeannie,
something is
stop making
rigged.
so much sense.
To make sense. To say that something is
We
rigged
want to be mad.
isn't necessarily a shocker for the show, but the fact that it was so blatantly obvious, I guess, is what is more frustrating for me. But
Yeah.
But I want to ask you all a question. Did you think that Dylan really did see Danielle going for it, and that shifted his vote at Roundtable? Do you think what she did in this game is what made him turn on her, or did he just listen to what was said and think about the group being suspicious of her?
I think I don't know what was in his head during watching the challenge. But Gabby what Gabby brought to him
Phoenix?
was substantial
It
information.
was pretty good. Yeah.
You know, that wasn't just suspicion. These three, they with the other people that we know were traitors because we've already got them out, came walking out of that cellar together. I feel like that's it. That's, you know what I mean? Like, they found the body, they found the weapon. Now they just need to make their case.
And because Danielle's not that good at this game, what made her look more suspicious is the fact that she did exactly a Bob and Rob move.
Yep.
She like redid it all over again. It should be so obvious to all of them. It wasn't even original. You know what I mean?
And Gabby bringing it up, like, and I love the way that she explained it, where she's like, that felt really familiar. Sorry, no, that felt really familiar.
It was traitor on traitor. It was traitor on traitor, like Bob and Rob.
Just like Bob and Rob, right? Like, literally. He caught that, you know, like, he's like, yes. So you could kind of tell, like, maybe he was sort of thinking that, and that just sort of confirmed what he was already thinking. But then to seal that fate, Ivar came in with the winning argument, which was Danielle walks around and shakes and cries about everything. But when she was after Carolyn, she was calm and cool and collected.
Because she had nothing, because she wasn't scared.
I think I may have said those exact words last week.
Yep.
Because we've watched her shaking like a scarecrow in the middle of a tornado, and when she talked to Carolyn, she's
like
just
one of
cool
those
as could
sock
be.
things,
Yeah, she like from Breaking Bad, like the big.
Yes, one of those.
The guys.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But
But
who did Ivor say that to?
Didn't he say it to Dylan or did he say it? No, that was a different
Did he
time.
say it to Brittany when Brittany starts falling apart?
Yes, because that's what
which
Brittany
is why
said.
Brittany goes.
That's right.
Goes and tells
I
Danielle.
can't write her name down. I can't do it.
I kept waiting for him to say that at Roundtable, and he never did. It's an excellent point that would make everyone go, "Oh, yeah."
Yes. But you know what, Christy? I do have to say this because I thought the same thing about Gabby too. Why aren't you bringing this up? Talk about the cellar. You want to know why? Because there's only 5 of them in the game, and they've already had this conversation before they sat at that
so we
table.
should just assume that they all knew these conversations before. It wasn't like they all heard each other. Okay. Well, the thing that really got my goat was when Dylan, with total respect, goes to Danielle and says, "Listen, this is what Gabby just came and talked to me about." And he's honest with her in a respectful way. He didn't have to tell her nothing. And her reaction was 100% Danielle all over again, with the shaking and the, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. How could you?"
I'm so heartbroken. I'm literally heartbroken. This was hard because I'm watching this kid. I'm old enough now that I can say this kid. I am watching this kid break up with his abusive girlfriend.
What?
That's what it felt like. Like, she's just emotionally mean, right? And uses him.
And at this point,
and he's afraid to hurt her feelings and make her mad, but he doesn't feel it anymore.
But her and Danielle were the people he trusted. Yeah. So not only is he realizing that she's probably a traitor, he's realizing that she went after Caroline, and that's why Caroline's not there. And he's probably just like, "Oh my!" In this
situation to feel like terrible because of voting out Caroline. But I do like that he does say, and he turns around and he'll say it again. He will say it again to Danielle. Carolyn was just less convincing. That's it. She was just less convincing. And he does turn around and say it again to Danielle. You're not as convincing.
I think there's pretty compelling evidence that through 3 seasons, Dylan is in the top 2 or 3 of all faithfuls that have ever played the game, about being stand up, about how he's played, and being honest, and being somebody who both is smart and tactical, but also hasn't sold his soul the way some of these people have. And even if he loses,
he would have been a hell of a recruit as a traitor.
I don't know that he
Nobody
could have
seen
pulled it
coming.
off, David. I don't know that he could have pulled it off.
No, he gets teary-eyed as soon as if you look at his face whenever there's conflict, he's fighting back feelings. Like he is
Dude,
softy.
who hurt you?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what
For
happened in
sure.
your past? What conflict did you have to live around?
Like
Yeah.
he does not like lying. He does not like being mean. He tries to like shimmy out of any uncomfortable conversation. I don't know
mean,
if
we
he
could be
would have been a
wrong.
good traitor.
Just what we've seen of him and what we know of him from this show, because did not see the show that him and his brother did. Did
Nor
any of
did
you?
I. Mm-mm.
Okay. He seems, from all appearances, to be a seriously decent dude.
Yeah. He seems like he's like
So
got
we'll make no jokes about him.
fairly good head on his shoulders, and he seems pretty realistic.
And his
Mhm.
personality in the extra content produced for the website and stuff, he's one of the few people that seems the same in that as he did on the show. Like he doesn't seem like, some of these people are playing a character like you all talk about.
Right.
I don't think he's playing a character. I think he's just there as him.
He's just Dylan Efron.
And that's his name, David. We don't need to be reminded. Okay, we get
And he's
it.
actually playing a pretty good game.
He
Right now.
is. He is. But
Speaking of
but hang on before we go there. I have to ask Jamie something.
All
Jamie, as the Brittany whisperer,
Mhm.
when Ivor and Brittany are having their little tete-a-tete, yes, esoteric candy,
I
Scott.
love the video.
The hallway video with Boston Rob was pretty funny. That was pretty
Thank
good.
you
If
very
you haven't
much.
seen that, check it out. Christy, I think, shared it on the Tally
I
the
did,
Votes
yeah.
page. It's pretty funny. But
it just
as
shows that they did truly enjoy each other and
Yes.
have fun. Yeah.
and
It's
of all
fun.
the cast, everybody seems to universally love Dylan. But Jamie as the Brittany whisperer, when she's with Ivor and Ivor's telling her what's going on and how he's sort of focused in on Danielle, Brittany does her first sort of crying emotional moment where basically she says, like, even if that's true, I just can't write her name down again.
Mhm.
Like, I can't do that.
She told him, I can't.
Right.
I can't. Put her
Right.
Yep.
So
So this
So-
has been talk. Everybody must know.
yes. So what is your percentage out of 100 that was genuine Brittany, and what is the percentage of that was gameplay?
100%.
I think that was
100%. Yeah, that's her. That's Brittany. She's like, I can't do it. She's lost every damn game she's played because of this right here, this kind of thing, because she has the ability to get really into the game and have a ton of fun and be just as dramatic and goofy and play the role, but still very clearly realize the difference between real feelings and game feelings. And she can't confuse them. She's just a real person who has fun being goofy.
But as that conversation was going, when he was first telling her the things that he was telling her, her face went this like
Yep.
blank
Yes. Like,
Stare
oh crap.
oh my gosh. And at that moment she was thinking, am I gonna have to vote Danielle out? Wait, if I vote Danielle out, then I will be the only traitor. And then, oh my God, can I win this game? I think that was the moment where
I bet you it was still there. You bet. I'm sure that it was still there. But it's almost
Yeah.
like saying it out loud is what grounds her back to who she is. You know what I mean? It's like, now that does not mean that she won't, but I truly, truly believe that everything we saw that made it look like she did was a misdirect. I don't think that she'll do it. Here's the thing. If she does it, I am going to jump off of the couch. I am going to scream like it is the World Series. Like David Freese hits a home run in the last second of the third game. Like, no, I will lose my mind if she actually wrote her name down in all good ways. But I do not.
And Scott
be a
says he will do
superhero.
cartwheels if that
Yeah.
happens. If she goes back on.
Come
And I think that's
on, Brittany.
that's
If
what
you're
they're
gonna
fixing
do
us for.
cartwheels, baby, I am rooting for it even more. I
it's
need Scott to do cartwheels.
it's not. I think it's a classic misdirect. I think she's gonna stay true, but this leads us to the thing that made me the most upset in this episode. Okay, and we
Made
touched
you
on it
upset?
earlier. Yes, we touched on this earlier, and I'm sorry if, but can we just airlock Dolores out of this game?
Oh yes,
Like she sits and tells them it's between Gabby and Ivar. That's who she'll vote for. She sits and does that and says, "Well, that's who I would vote for." And if you're smart, you would vote for one of them because Gabby, if you don't trust her, you guys have determined it's probably another female is the traitor, and Ivar is the one right now in the game. Other than Dylan, him and Dylan are the two that you would least suspect that have seemed like the most faithful.
right.
So, like, if you're gonna do that, but then go in and vote, and it just makes me so angry that she moves from
She's angry.
one faithful person to another and stays set in her ways. Like, if she ran a sanitation company, like, there would be civilian after civilian hitting the freaking deck. Like, okay, I got news for you. Like she's terrible at this game.
Yes.
Like at some point the other heads of sanitation companies would come and say to her, like, "Look, man, you're putting too much heat on the good, fine work we do in sanitation companies, and we can't be killing civilians, okay?" She is so bad at this.
Her name is
horrendous.
Dolores, and she's actually playing a really crappy game.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Oh my
It's
God.
bad. I kind of think like so we see all the little like the hallway video, and then there's like another video where it's Danielle, Brittany, and Carolyn like sitting out to eat or something. There's tons of these videos, and I think what those videos are not after the show. I think those are videos like when they're done recording or on their day off from recording, they went out or whatever. I think it's in the game time that's happening. And it's like it's almost like there's like a team, that goes, travels, to a state championship, and they all bunk together and they're all
They all
buddies
stay
and
in
they
the
hang
same
out.
hotel. They all,
But there's
all
like
rooms
the
on the same
one,
floor.
yeah, but there's like the
There's
one that's like
streaking. There's mooning. We got there's
silly, silly
shenanigans.
shenanigans. That's it.
Someone's gonna pull the fire alarm.
But like
That's it.
Dolores is almost like too cool for the shenanigans and is not involved with the social aspect that's happening. And I really think that's it more than anything. She doesn't have a clue who any
So
of these
checked
people
out.
are. She doesn't know what they're doing.
You know what
She-
Dolores
done.
was thinking?
doesn't
You know what
care.
Dolores was thinking?
Kill
You know
me.
what, all you peasants,
Yo.
I'm gonna get to go to SNL 50, and you're not.
She didn't get to go.
there's something along those lines. She doesn't care, guys. She just doesn't care, and that's it. That's all that boils down to, is that she
Well-
doesn't care.
You know what? Maybe we should take a moment to, put her game to rest. Rest in peace, Dolores.
Yeah, and
Your
then we
game.
should take
Yeah.
another
Yeah, right.
moment.
Exactly.
We
That's
should
our
take
moment.
another moment for at least
Like
7
7
seconds.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for
Yeah,
like
okay,
maybe a
let's do it.
commercial or something.
All right.
All right. That was the most active Dolores' game has been all season.
Can you believe how much Danielle was crying as Dolores's game died?
Oh my
She's
god.
over dramatic.
Okay, so we're at the round table already, but like let's hone in on a few things with the round table. It seems like the majority of what was going on, maybe the leader of the round table this go was Gabby, which good for you, girl. Way to go. Finally step in and take the leadership of the table. And you know what? She was spot on. It wasn't just silly like tomfoolery. See what I did there? It wasn't tomfoolery leading at the table, like where he did have one great day. She's waited. She had a moment. She's brought receipts, as Danielle talks about. She's got the receipts. Well, Gabby does too.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle did try to defend herself with some of those things, but so much applause for Gabby, because at every turn she turned around and would go, "Yeah, I did that too. Yep, me too,
Yes.
Danielle.
Yes.
No
Well, I
arguing, no
voted for
yelling.
Rob twice.
Yep,
So did I.
every time,
Same
just
girl,
so calm, cool, collected.
But
You know,
Jamie, can you just let me talk, please? Can you just let me talk?
Just let me finish.
Just let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh my
I'm
god!
When she would
now.
take a huge pause, and then Gabby would start to talk, and she'd go, "Can I finish?" And then Gabby did it back to her, which I loved. Like,
Do they
like
have-
that. Can you let me finish?
Yes,
Do they have
that
like a
was good.
strict time limit on Round Table? Is there like a timer set? This is how long?
No,
And
no.
the
My
timer's
sense is it goes until they feel like it peters
Kinda
out.
like
and there's
Jeff
no
does
good
with
stuff left
Tribal,
to have.
right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they say tribal sometimes is 4 or 5 hours.
I'm gonna say, if I was Gabby, I would have just been like, "What?" And one more thing. Nope. And one more thing. And one more thing.
One more
Because
thing.
you have to keep knocking them down, because Danielle's got so much. She is a big fat liar. I'm sorry, she is.
Yeah,
And
she is, and okay.
she's one of those poo poo caca heads. We don't like
yeah.
her right now.
And again, like I said, if this entire game, Dylan, if Danielle had this entire game, like said, "I'm cutthroat. I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna take him out." Like, yep, I know Carolyn's a traitor. Don't care. She's got to go. Not this like, "Oh, but I want her to trust me." They don't trust me anymore. And then she's all like, "I'm super badass."
How dare you?
No.
Please,
No.
please.
No. But if she
Please,
was this whole
Dylan.
time,
Ugh.
even if she was spiteful, I don't care. I would give her credit for being a great villain. Look at her. She's a shark. Nah.
Mm-mm.
And here she is sitting there, and it's so wonderful because she's not getting meanness thrown at her. Nobody's being like hateful, which I'm glad, because I do not want to have to in any capacity defend her right now.
Can I finish one time?
But like Gabby's, just like, here's the evidence. Yep, that's it. And Dylan is like, "Oh, that's really good. That's good evidence, though, Danielle." And Ivar's like, "I've been trying to tell you this the entire season."
But when the second you said earlier, when Dolores says she's going to vote for Gabby or Ivar, okay, it could be editing, but at that particular moment, they show like Brittany and Daniel like lock eyes
On the revote. Mm-hmm.
So they knew how they were going to do it, right? And Ivar just he like kind of shrugged. He was just like, okay.
The Soviet Union used to have a term they used for people who play like Dolores, and the term is useful idiot.
Well, she's not even a useful idiot because she's
for the Traitors. She absolutely is.
Not really. Oh, well, for the Traitors, I suppose, because she never votes for anybody but Tom, with the exception of this one time where.
Yeah. I was surprised she didn't vote for Tom at this round table.
Okay. We were all shocked, actually.
But I'm bunched.
He's not here. He's not here. But I want to kill him again. I want to dig him up and kill him again.
Don't even understand why she thinks it's Ivar, though. It just makes no sense.
I think
because he's like literally the least likely person, except maybe Dylan.
Or is she still playing that game where I'm going to throw a vote out there? I'm going to vote for this person that no one's talking about, so that I'm not the reason someone goes home. That's a faithful.
Maybe.
But when you throw it out there at the round table,
it would be a smart move if you had sussed who the Traitors were. If you know who the Traitors are going into the end, you don't need to get them out 3 votes early.
She's probably hoping every night that the Traitors just kill her. Like, just send me
I
home.
would agree. I think that every single time,
more likely.
Every time she has to walk into a room and there's not an envelope sitting there with her name on it, she's like, "God dang it!"
You know what? They're going to be having me go up and down gross, muddy hills tomorrow,
right?
With garbage hitting my face. Send me home.
She wants her comfy bed. She wants her night mask. She's probably got a fluffy dog or cat.
Her
I
what
read
did
a
she say?
thing. I read a
Infrared
thing
night
about
mask? Or-
Traitors.
Oh, okay. All right. Traitors Insight. Let's
was
go.
it her with? Okay, I read this thing and I meant to repost it, and then the link was really wonky, and it was one of those like sponsory things.
Yeah,
20,
dumb.
40 things you didn't know about traders. Okay, one of the things that I'd never heard before that was new to me, most of it was not, was that they are during production schedule, they are only allowed one glass of wine. So when they're done, before they go to round table, whenever they're standing around drinking their wine, they get that one glass. Dolores ain't playing one glass, okay?
No,
Dolores is
I don't
like,
think she's a one
no,
glass
no, no.
lady.
She is not a one glass girl, and she's been wanting to go home. This is not her idea of a vacation, y'all. She's ready.
This is not what I signed up for.
Well,
crap.
let's talk about this. How did Danielle begging play to the table, do you think?
I think they're past listening to it. I think after the theatrics, after Carolyn, they were like, "Oh, ew." Like, I think that was it. I think she pushed too hard. She got too greedy after.
They
her
all
little
have to know
show.
she's a traitor.
D-
After
but
the Caroline thing.
if you're
You would
Dylan,
think.
and he looked like he was really hurting to vote for her.
Oh yeah.
But when they had to vote again, like what torture that would be to have to do it again. And the way she pleaded, and you know what I thought if I was watching that, if I was
gross.
somebody else and wasn't sure, like, why isn't she playing for my vote? Why is she just playing for his vote? Because she knows what vote she has. Like,
And if
Go
you're paying
ahead.
attention, you know that Dylan was friends with Rob too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd be
Mhm.
like, these traders have been playing Dylan this entire game.
That's
Cuddling
what I
up to
said.
him.
It's crazy to me that his instinct is so good that he has
He
been
trusts
with
everyone.
every single trader the entire way. He knew Bob H.
He's
He
like,
he
"You
was
guys are
working with
great."
Rob. He suspected both Carolyn and Danielle at the same time, but he just wasn't sure which one. He's
like,
got good instinct,
Do-
but the
did-
he's
problem
like,
is
you know what he is? He's their Guillermo.
he is their Guillermo.
He-
He
he-
was
he's-
backing out on the tool shed.
he is so good at this. He is so good at this that it makes me think like they should start a new reality show that's called Bad Girlfriend, where the bad people are bad girlfriends, and I would go be friends with all of them. They would be the ones that was in my group every time. I would be the Dylan of that show. But welcome to Bad Girlfriend. Who are you? Who do you trust, Brian? Oh, I trust Kendra. She's the best. She would never betray anyone. Betrayal. Who do you trust? I trust Jennifer. She
what
wouldn't
some
betray
said.
anyone.
It's
Now,
because
Brian, can you help me clarify something that I'm not sure I understand? You've watched more traders than I have.
Yes.
The initial vote was split 3-3.
Yes.
They re-vote, and the two people who you can only vote for do not vote, right?
Right.
Correct.
And so what we saw revealed before the moment that made me white hot and angry.
Oh, that's we're all gonna rant.
Right, but we're not quite there. But they revealed 3 of the votes, and if Brittany votes Danielle, it's tied again, right? In the event of a second tie, what occurs? Because on Survivor they draw a rock.
game of
Chance.
chance.
He said
It's a
chance.
Game of
game
rock.
of chance, and it could be.
Has
I
it
don't
ever
remember.
happened?
Like a flip of a coin.
I don't remember if they flipped a coin or did something like that. I think it's happened one time.
Or something. Yeah, like you know what it is? If it ties again, they're
It'd
gonna
be funny if they had to make fire.
they're gonna have to fire or they're gonna have to do a Big Brother challenge. Like
They have to find Fergus. That's what it is. Where is he? Get out there and find him.
just a final note that I wanted to say about Dylan is I think where Dylan really struggles is because he actually, whereas Brittany does a really good job of being able to be friends with people and completely separate that from a game because she's had pretty much a career in doing this off and on. Dylan's just a guy who does other stuff and then did a game. he's combining both worlds, and he is hurt. He knows Danielle's a traitor. He knows in his guts, in his bones, just like he knew Carolyn was. He just doesn't want them to be. You know, he knows the girlfriend's cheating on him, but he just doesn't want to face
But
it.
until they actually tell you, they might not be.
Exactly.
It's Schrodinger's cat,
Exactly.
right? It might be
Yep.
alive. I don't know. I haven't looked yet.
That's
I
exactly
don't
it.
want to know. I don't
Yep.
want to know.
So
Yeah, poor
Dylan's
Dylan.
only real shortcomings in this game is he's got too big of a heart. He's just got a big heart.
Well, he went there and he met these people and he talked to them and he was his genuine self without
Yep.
putting on any fronts or airs
Yep.
and expected that they were all doing the same thing.
Yes, Scott, you're correct. And if it's a tie, then it becomes a game of chance for
Yeah.
who goes
Yes.
home. So
Danielle had 2 votes.
no.
Danielle
no.
has 1
No, it
vote.
was-
No, Ivor has 2 votes. Sorry, I read that right. Ivor has
Correct.
2 votes and Danielle has 1.
Right. So Brittany will either tie it up or send Ivor home.
Right.
She's not sending Ivor home. Do you really think so? Do you really think she's going
You
to
guys.
I just
Okay.
don't know.
So
No,
She will
she's not
not,
putting Daniel's.
Because Lord Ivor is a
you don't think
evil
she's writing
genius.
Daniel's name down?
No, I just don't think she is. No.
I think based on how hot it is for Danielle, she said when she recruit, if it's Danielle, this is the most obvious recruit. She cannot dig her heels in. If she has any chance, Danielle's not going to win this game. She's just not. I just don't think, even if she gets past this vote, they're going to still want to kick her out next at the fire pit or whatever. I don't. She can't win, and Brittany could. She could win, but she can't if she sticks with Danielle.
Right, Scott, you're right. You're right. I got that backwards. Dylan and Gabby voted for Danielle. You're correct.
Right.
So if
Only one for
she
Ivor.
votes for Danielle, it's over. There's no
She's
game of
gone.
chance.
She's gone, but then Ivor
I
ties.
hope she does.
But that's God. I don't know, because we did see Brittany at the round table earlier this season, you know, kind of try to like do the I convince thing with Dylan, and Rob called her out on it, right? Was it Rob that called her? No. Sorry. It was Derek who called her out on it, because he was like, nope, she's with Rob. She's working with Rob because she did this thing. When really, I don't think Brittany was actually trying to convince him to do something. No. I think she was like, get a load of this crap. You know, like, it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I think was probably the actual expression.
Yeah. I'm surprised Carolyn didn't get in trouble with that every round table because of her face, you know, just making weird faces.
Like I said, I really don't feel like she's going to put her name down. I would be super okay with being wrong about that.
But
like
she does.
I would scream. I would scream.
All right.
I would scream in the same way that I did with Dylan when the second time came around and he said, I still wrote down your name, Daddy. I was like, say his name.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I know the time has come, Brian.
The time has come. Okay. I watched this first, texted David and said, have you watched this? David said no. Okay. And then David said, I've eaten and I'm about to go to the round table. That's right. And it took about 15 minutes before David texts me. And in true old man fashion, he text ranted. David text ranted. He turned on caps lock. He turned on caps lock and sent me a vitriolic, angry text that I was already in. I was already in that frame of mood. I thought, we have waited this long, and you put it on Brittany, and I have to wait a week to know if Danielle's going home. And you know what? It's just not right.
Evil.
You know, like, you're going to give us a ton of content next week because we're going to get the final episode and we're going to get the reunion show. Give us an extra 5 minutes here and get rid of who's going home. Because not only that, you know what else we forgot? The seer has to happen.
Yep.
Like, that doesn't happen till after this. Like, the seer has to happen. David getting his points home. We still need the seer reveal. And then we're going to have the whole reunion show. Do the elimination and then tell us who the seer is and cut. This cut was unnecessary, over dramatic to pull us over to that first vote. And you know what? $50, they'll go back and relive part of the round table at the beginning next week, and do all that crap to drag it out.
Break. You're gonna get the
so
commercial.
why would
If
editing
the
do it that
seer
way?
if the seer was not a part of the game, this would be a more defensible edit. Okay, because that's the last big piece you have before the final challenge and the fire pit.
Right.
But with the seer as a part of the game, to do this was bullshit, and it made me angry.
Yeah, I
I
think
have,
we
I
were
have
all
something
there.
to add to that,
Go for it,
Brian.
David.
You're goddamn right.
Well, he is right, because like you're exactly that. I'm thinking to myself, why would the editors do it this way? The only thing that makes sense to me is that whoever goes home from Roundtable was also the seer, so that's moot. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But even without the seer power being there, you still have somebody going home at Roundtable, and let's play devil's advocate and say Danielle goes home. We are still left with the whole thing of, but Brittany kind of backed her up. So are they on to Brittany? Can Brittany still win this? And that's what the whole next episode would be about.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It would be all about, do they think they got them all? Do they think there's still one? Can she get it? And then let us ease into that. Okay. After the last couple of weeks being kind of crazy, right? And kind of leaving us
like a
last
little
week
bit
pissed off a
painful.
lot of people. I do not know one single person that watches Traitors that wasn't extremely ticked off after last episode. Okay? Everybody liked Caroline. Even the people who said at the beginning, I don't know if I like her. She's kind of weird. By the end, they were like, no, she's our person.
Yep.
I mean, people that don't watch this, don't watch us, don't,
Yep.
So when you say half the fandom was mad last week, I think it was probably more.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty popular opinion to be really mad about that because again, it was a punch down. It was a punch down. It wasn't a banishment. It was a beratement of somebody's character and personality, and that was gross.
Oh, it was so evil.
Frank does throw out the idea that perhaps there was some drama that occurred on the last vote and they didn't have time, so they wanted to carry it in. Like maybe there's a blow up between Brittany and Danielle. That would actually be a reasonable reason to do it.
5 minutes of profanity, and if I ever see you again, I'll kick your ass, and you better never play again. If there's 5 minutes of that, I will. Next week on this show, I will apologize for my rant. But if not, I'm doubling down, and they can kiss. They can kiss my butt. Okay.
I just feel like they wouldn't have used this as a cliffhanger if they had more. If the next thing had been a better cliffhanger. You know what I mean? If the seer thing, because if the seer was not the person who's going home, then they would have the seer. That could have been the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It could have been just the person we gets revealed who's the cliffhanger. But you don't know who they talked to. You don't know what information they got. So that could be.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the episode got cut. One, because we got to get everybody excited about next week, obviously. But the biggest reason on far as time goes is because this is going to go to a game of chance. And now we're going to have to play the game of chance to see who stays and who goes.
But why wouldn't that be the cliffhanger?
You know what
why
I'm wondering?
Why wouldn't that be the cliffhanger? She reveals
I'm wondering.
Because we're talking about it right now.
Well, we would have been talking about that too. How do we think this is going to go the game of chance? Like
I think
that would be a viable cliffhanger as well.
Maybe it's just that they're jerks.
Maybe
that's it.
What do you suppose Maggie feels about all of this?
Well, I don't know, but I could probably
tell us?
Pull up the email and let you know because we did get feedback. Let's see. We have got Miss Maggie. Hi, Faithfuls. I wanted the seer to be able to use their power before the round table tonight. Yup, I think we all agree with that. I think that would have been much better. I can't tell if Brittany voted for Danielle. Part of me thinks that she didn't. Part of me thinks that she did. Maybe I just want Danielle to be gone. Here. Dolores is a waste in this game. She doesn't want to pick a side. I'm glad that the vote wasn't Gabby versus Danielle. I wish someone would have brought up Danielle's fake shaking at the round table. It's so annoying, and I don't know how no one has noticed. Someone mentioned it during the episode. When Danielle was personally attacking Carolyn, she wasn't shaking. She was shaking when she was talking to Gabby. One more episode, and then the reunion to go. Maggie. Thanks, Maggie. You know, you are our people.
She brought up. I mean, we talked about a lot
Right
of
there.
things that she's going to be happy. We touched on just about all of that, didn't we?
Yep. Maggie is she's right on track with the rest of us. She knows.
Mm-hmm.
And other than her slavish devotion to Boston Rob, she's almost perfect.
But you know what, girl, same. I just realized this week, David helped me recognize, and I'm no longer in denial. I have accepted the fact that
You've accepted Boston Rob as your Lord and Savior.
I know.
Tell me that was not hilarious.
But I think I might be a Boston Rob fan. I'm just saying it. Okay. Breaking news.
You know what? It's really it's okay
Acceptance is the first step.
There's a reason. There's a reason why he has a career in doing it, and it's because you're not alone in the fandom. So.
Also, just for what it's worth, have super loved all of the stuff that Wes has done with people since that they've been doing outside in Instagram and stuff. Wes is a super funny, cool guy. Just saying.
Well, since we're wrapping up and giving shout outs, there's something none of us talked about that was amazing. And that is, how about Gabby awkwardly sitting by Danielle and refusing to talk to her and also refusing to leave the room? That was peak content, and the faces Gabby was making while uncomfortable and drinking her. I think I'll just sit here and drink my tea. That was maybe the most comic relief on this show.
I got a little worried though, and I'll tell you why. They were in there alone. Now, Gabby's point of view is, I'm not going to leave here. I'm just going to sit right here. I'm not going to let you talk. Like, at that point, she knows she's not talking to anyone or telling any lies or spinning anything against her because she's right there, right? But what I thought that Danielle would do, and it would totally be up her alley, would be to walk out of there and then go tell everybody, yeah, we were in there. She was telling me all of this stuff. You wouldn't believe the things she told me. That's what I was worried that Danielle was going to do. But she didn't, as far as we know.
So as we wrap up, I need to know who has which player as their current winner pick. I, of course,
you have
Lord Ivor.
Christy has Dylan.
I have Dylan.
Brian has Brittany.
That's a good one,
And
too. I really hope you win, Brian.
It's going to have... It's going to have
Did
to
you not
be Gabby.
Have you not repicked? I think you did repick Gabby last week.
I didn't, but I didn't do it like on episode because I was like,
official.
Pick. Yeah.
No, we talked right after.
But who else am I gonna? Who else am I gonna have, guys?
Yeah.
There's literally no one else for me to have except for Danielle.
I just want to say,
so now,
Brian almost took Dolores before he took Brittany. Oof.
Lightning round answers. Will Brittany kick Danielle out?
No.
Christy.
Yes. I'm a believer.
Brian.
I hope
no.
Jamie.
No.
Danielle's gone, I think. And finally,
50-50.
And finally, do the Traitors win the game or do the faithful win the game, Jamie?
Traitor.
Brian.
Traitor.
Christy.
Traitor. Mm-hmm.
I'm going faithful.
All right.
Oh.
I think they know who the traitors are and they'll kick them out.
Okay. Well, maybe. You could be right. But we all hope that Danielle's gone and she's not.
And you know what? I can't pick him as my winner's pick, but I got to tell you, I really think that Dylan is going to be the faithful. Like if there's one faithful left, it's going to be Dylan. Dylan's going to.
He could be Ivor because he's just like so bland.
Yeah. He could be Ivor. Yeah, sure. But if it was Dylan. Sure. If it was Dylan, guys, I wouldn't even be mad. I would be kind of like okay with that after everything he's been through in this game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It was worth something at the end, Dylan.
Him or Brittany winning, I would be fine with either of those.
Like David It can't be Ivor. Like literally, it cannot.
Yeah.
It
All right, well,
cannot, David.
let's wrap it up before they play the outro music over us like the Oscars. It's always
Oh,
embarrassing.
All
shoot.
right. Okay. Well, first of all, Maggie, thank you for your feedback. And anybody else who is interested in sending in feedback, we love hearing everybody's hot takes. We want to hear yours. So send
We like
that
people
feedback.
agreeing with us.
We do, but we'll even take people disagreeing. It's okay.
100%.
I mean,
Gives us something to talk about. Yeah.
yeah. So you're going to send that to the tally the feedback at Yahoo. Yahoo. You can find us
Yahoo, and it can all be in caps. It's totally
Yahoo.
fine.
They don't
And
care.
we're going to be
We're all people.
We're going to be on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on the TikTok at the Tally the Votes. You can hit like and subscribe for all the updates. And you know what? That helps out Crazy Hank too. And we love that. So hit like and subscribe. And if you are a fan of Australia Survivor or want to be, in a bit, we're going to be back with a late night, last minute coverage of this week's episodes. And then next week, it's finale night and reunion. So stay tuned on the time. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty close to our regular time, but stay tuned on it just in case.
On Friday.
On Friday. And I don't know, I'm both like really sad and also really filled with anticipation about it. I think that everybody probably feels the same. But mostly, I look forward to having a chance to hang out with the three of you and share all of our views. And you know what? That's the thing. Our views don't always agree. But in a world falling short in diplomacy, I feel pretty lucky to share this hour with the three of you. So until next week, have a great night, everybody.
You too.
Oh, that's the wrong music.